Well, recreational marijuana gets the green light in that state up north. Michigan is the 10th state to legalize recreational pot and the first here in the Midwest.
Now, those pushing for legalization here in Ohio told News 5's Mike Brookbank they are watching the rollout there very closely.
So, Mike, some believe it's not a matter of if, but more so when it will hit the Buckeye State.
Yeah, it's Anita and Rob. You could call medical marijuana the gateway drug to recreational use. States like Ohio that embrace pot to help alleviate health issues frequently transition to legalizing its use recreationally.
I unfortunately lost a friend to suicide 8 years ago that had been on antidepressants for 10 days.
For Darren Farrow, that's when his mission for legalizing both medical and recreational pot use was born.
It's just a safer alternative that people should have the option to try.
Farrow tells me with Michigan now legalizing recreational pot, the momentum works in Ohio's favor as our state prepares to launch its own medical marijuana program.
The natural progression will be to recreational and easier access.
Cleveland attorney Ian Friedman agrees.
It's not a matter of if anymore, it's just when.
Friedman believes it may take a couple of years, but he expects Ohio to follow in Michigan's footsteps because he says it all comes down to cash.
And then they see just how much money is going out of state for recreational, how much missed tax revenue there is. Then they implement the recreational.
A warning for those Ohioans thinking of taking a road trip across the turnpike to light up legally.
Any intention to bring it back to Ohio would be problematic.
Friedman tells me he has already seen warnings from Ohio State Highway Patrol telling people they could be charged if they're caught leaving Michigan with pot.
It could be possession of marijuana, which is a misdemeanor, or dependent upon the quantity and how it's broken up. Sometimes we even see trafficking.
While Farrow feels like the tide is shifting to legally allow recreational marijuana in more states like Ohio,
Cannabis is a major disruptor to pharmaceuticals, alcohol, tobacco.
He understands there are a lot of companies and lobby groups working against the move.
It's very apparent of what this can do for people's health naturally, but it will cause a lot of revenue loss in other industries.
In Michigan, it's now going to be legal to possess, use, or transport small amounts of marijuana up to 2.5 ounces. Residents there can also grow up to a dozen marijuana plants for personal use. In the studio tonight, Mike Brookbank, News 5.
Now, here's something to keep in mind if you plan on using medical marijuana when it's finally available here in Ohio. You better go buy any guns you want right now, because an appeals court just upheld a ruling that it is illegal to buy guns if you use marijuana, even if your state allows it. And here's why. Federal law says illegal drug users can't buy guns. And under federal law, marijuana is still illegal.
But just because you drink doesn't necessarily exempt you from purchasing a firearm. So I think that the rationale that they're relying upon is completely flawed.
Lawyers do plan to appeal.